Riding your bike inside can be engaging and highly effective, but you have to be intentional about it. You can't just buy a trainer and expect to get fit any more than you can expect to lose weight by just buying a bathroom scale. You don't want to be like the Geico lady, pedaling at 2 RPM and expecting to come out Peter Sagan. Now in this video, I'm going to walk you through the hardware you need, the software to make it super fun and effective, and the technology you need to connect it all together. Now there are scores of training software out there, but the two best are Trainerroad and Zwift. They're very different. Trainerroad is straight up individualized training with a nice embedded coach. Zwift is a social video game that really has revolutionized indoor riding. But both center on power, measured in watts, because when you distill the physics of cycling down, that's what you get. Now the whole point is to quantify your effort. If you can measure your power output, you can measure improvement. When I was working at Bike Radar, which is a bike review and gear website, we'd often write about Zwift, and there was one commenter who would always reply to the stories in all caps saying, "This is sporting fraud," which cracked me up. And I think his point was that when people would ride on Zwift and upload to Strava, as many of us do, there would be credited for miles. There's fake miles, somehow robbing our fellow cyclists of the honor that they had earned by being outside. But the thing is, even if the miles are fake, the fitness gains are real. The physiological stresses and adaptations you get from doing the work inside translate absolutely to outside. Talking to the folks at XL Sports, which is a great bike shop here in Boulder that does a lot of online business, they've noticed that people who buy trainers and do some indoor training over the winter come back in the summer to buy a power meter because now they're educated on how training with power works and they want to have that year round. But let's start inside. Let's start with the hardware you need. For cycling trainers, you've got a good, better, best situation. Good is a standard trainer like the Cyclops Fluid 2. Now the benefits to a standard trainer are ease of use, ease of setup, it's easy to move around, the cost is relatively lower, and hey, you may already have one at home. Resistance is controlled by the drum press against the tire, and as you pedal more, resistance builds up with the Fluid 2, and then also you can shift your bike just like riding outside. Now, when working with a software like Trainerroad or Zwift, you can do a roll-down calibration, which estimates the power output. The better situation is a standard trainer like your Fluid 2 used with a power meter. There you get all the benefits of the standard trainer, plus you're getting actual power measurement coming from your power meter, whether that's at the pedals or the crank or the hub. Now, the best hardware situation is a smart trainer, like the Cyclops H2. Now, these things are great training tools, primarily because they're interactive. So when you're using something like Trainerroad, instead of having to hit the specified wattage target, the trainer will adjust for you. All you've got to do is pedal. When you come to a rest interval, it will automatically drop down to the specified power. Again, you just keep the pedals turning. When you're using it with Zwift, when you come to a hill, it'll get harder. When you're going downhill, it'll get easier. So it's fun and it's easier, makes for more specific training. There are also other perks to it, like stability. With a direct drive trainer like this H2, you take the rear wheel off, put the bike on the trainer, the legs triangulate so you've got a nice steady base so you can stand up and sprint, good to go. The interaction with the software is easy because you have Bluetooth and ANT+ and ANT+ FEC all built in, so there's no little pieces to worry about, it's just all taken care of. That leads us to the technology we need to connect it all together. You need either ANT+ or Bluetooth, and then you need Wi-Fi. Now in the standard setup with a standard trainer, you need a speed cadence sensor that can either work on ANT+ or on Bluetooth. And that will talk to either your phone or your laptop. Personally, I prefer Bluetooth because it's easy and it doesn't require any additional dongles or plugins. Now with ANT+, that's pretty common on cycling peripherals, but you're gonna need a little USB stick for most laptops. Bluetooth works with all phones. Some of the newer Androids have ANT+ natively, but in general, Bluetooth works across the board, nice and easy. With the standard trainer plus a power meter setup, you can just use whatever your power meter is broadcasting. Most power meters broadcast in Bluetooth now, so again, you've got the ease of use there. Finally, with the smart trainer, you don't need anything because it's all built in. You've got ANT+, you've got Bluetooth, and then you've got ANT+ FEC, which allows you to control the trainer with your head unit, whether that's a Garmin Edge or a Wahoo Element Bolt. For me, that's just more trouble than it's worth of manually setting different resistances and changing things. You could download a workout onto your computer and have that computer drive the trainer. But for me, I just like plugging in the software because it's a fully robust professional system and it does everything. So for me, the Smart Trainer is just the ease of use is worth a lot. The last connection you need is from your laptop or your smartphone to the cloud. So you need Wi-Fi for that. If you have a choice between a 2.4 and a 5 gigahertz, use the 2.4. Seems a little counterintuitive, but the interaction is better there with software, especially with Zwift. For training software, you have a plethora of choices out there. You've got things like outdoor footage, where the faster you pedal, the faster the video footage goes. That's okay, but for me, it's not that engaging. You've got virtual reality. You've got things like Sufferfest, where there's pro race footage underlaid on your power workouts. For me, the two I spend my money on are Trainerroad and Zwift. Now, you've probably heard of Zwift. This is probably why you're watching this video to start with. It has, on any given moment, 10,000 people or so are on there riding. One nice thing is you can drop in at any time, and you can join a race, you can join a group ride, you can do a workout. So the convenience is huge. It has, hands down, the best graphics out there. But it's not really the graphics that make it compelling. What makes it compelling is the interaction with other folks, whether that's texting with them as you ride, whether that's talking with a coach who's leading a workout, or just the drafting as you get into a big group in a race or a ride. And while, especially if you're on a Smart Trainer, the power will decrease needed when you get in a draft. For me, it's the psychological pull that's even stronger than the gain of a few watts here or there. So, in short, it's fun. It's like riding outside. Riding for many of us is a social thing, so having that social element is a huge driver, and for me is what makes Zwift a cool thing. Trainerroad, totally different animal. It is like a Spartan boxing gym, where you go in there and it's just you, your set of weights, and a very specific plan on what you need to execute. Unlike Zwift, where you may get distracted, like when you're doing a group ride and go harder than you should or easier than you should, when you're in the Spartan gym of Trainerroad, you're going to do exactly what you came there to do. Now with Trainerroad, you can jump in and just do workouts at random, which is what I'll sometimes do. Get in, okay, I've got 45 minutes. What's a 45-minute workout? Bang that out. Or you can go all in with the training plan, which can be set for your discipline, your target event's duration. You can get hyper-specific with it. Another nice new thing about Trainerroad is the calendar, which shows in almost like a Training Peaks type way, the whole forest view. And it includes not just the rides you've done inside, but it imports all the rides you've done outside and calculates that all. So that's a nice thing. Again, it's super easy. I'm sure it's a lot of difficult work on the back end for these folks to put it all together. But from a user perspective, I just open the calendar, there are all my rides. There's my training stress score. You can see your PRs. You can look at your PRs, not just year to year, but you can break it down season by season or month by month. So in January, you're not comparing yourself to where you were in July. There's just a lot of good training data there. Now, some of my friends say that Trainerroad and Zwift are for two types of people, like it's some sort of personality test that sorts us as a cycling population. But for me, I think both can work for the same person. It just depends on what your motivation is. For instance, if you're hyper-focused on one particular race, like you want to go to nationals this year, Trainerroad is great with very detailed workouts that will get you super fit for that one specific thing. If, on the other hand, you're just looking for some motivation to get you out there, having some fun, having some fitness, Zwift is the best thing going. Really, since both have free trials, you can give them both a shot. Now, for more information on these CycleOps trainers, check out cycleops.com. And when you're ready to take all that hard-earned fitness from inside to outside, come ride with us at Roll Massif.